Welcome. My name is Kathy A, and today we're going to talk about some brushes. I know that there's a lot of special assortments of brushes that are available on Amazon.com, and they all kind of look the same, and they got a million brushes in one, and I'm going to show you today an 11-piece brush set and what to do with each of the brushes. Now this is kind of for the beginners here, because I know most of you who've been watching me for a while already know what to do with brushes. But maybe this will open your eyes to some new options. Now the 11 brushes come in a little kit here, and the company I got these from is DUCare. It's 11 piece plus you get the bag. It's a nice little bag with a zippered compartment in it. And I gave some instructions with these horrible looking people. I'm not sure what. That's funny. So hopefully we wouldn't look as horrible as the person that they demoed the what you do with the brushes in. So I am just going to start off with the biggest brush and go down to the smallest brush. And let me just show you the whole set together so you can see how many brushes there are, because there's a ton of them here. So there's like a ton of them here in this set, and I think that it's, you know, if you get all these brushes, you're like, what the heck am I going to do with all these? Especially if you're not used to using a bunch of brushes. Maybe you put your makeup on with your fingers and you just use the little applicator that comes in the eyeshadow palette. I don't know. So I'll just show you how I use the brushes, and we can go from there. Let's start with the biggest one, of course. This covers a large surface of the face, so it's really good for putting powder on your face, for setting makeup, and also for a bronzer if you want to use it for bronzing, you know, just kind of down the décolleté, up around the area here. But it's a very good fluffy brush for that. And any brush that's like this is really nice for using that bronzy kind of stuff. This is just a very light bronzer that you would use maybe in winter time, not to look like a fake and bake tan, but to just have a little bit more life to your skin. So this is the powder brush. The next brush is a foundation brush, and this is a very densely packed brush. This is a flat top kabuki. This is really good for buffing in a foundation on your skin. So just put a little foundation here, and I'll just buff it into the skin with circular motions. And it works really well, quickly, and gets the product distributed nicely into your skin. So this is the buffing face brush, foundation brush. I really like that. The next brush is kind of slanted, and that usually means a contour. So if you see a slant, think of the contour of the brush, contour of your face. And this is really nice when you're using a contour just underneath your cheekbones. This works really nicely. Of course, I already have makeup on, so I'm just piling more on. That's just great, isn't it? Or if you want to get under here, really, really nice. You can also use this for your blush, but it's especially nice for doing contouring and all up in, you know, your forehead and that sort of thing. This is a nice blush brush, and it's soft. It's somewhat together. Let me just show you a little bit here. Probably going to have way too much blush on now, but you can just control it, buff it in, and it makes a really nice natural look. And that is a blush brush. Very, very soft, dual fiber. The next brush is for a highlight, and I think it's kind of neat that it's a fan shape, and you're like, what am I going to do with a fan shape? Well, I saw a lot of ladies, like on YouTube, they take it like this underneath their eyes to brush away eyeshadow that maybe have fallen, little pieces of the eyeshadow that have fallen when they're putting their eye makeup on. Sometimes that happens, they call it fallout. This takes it out, but I like it for putting lightly onto a highlighter. And then you can just do a light dusting of highlight, little shimmer on your face. Works really nicely for that, and it's just enough. It really helps you control the amount of highlighter you put on your face. And it's an odd shaped fan. It seems really flimsy, but it's perfect for that kind of application. The next brush is something to use with eyeshadows. And these two are probably the most popular shapes. This rounded flat type is probably the most common, and that's a really nice one, for very good for putting lid shades on, or if you want to have a base that goes all the way up to the top of your lid. This is a very nice brush for that. This is also nice for going back. If you've put a little too much of something on, you can kind of blur the edge of it using the lighter shade with this brush. And they call it a shader brush often, but I just call it the regular eyeshadow brush. Now these taller brushes are called crease brushes, and the reason that they're called crease brushes is that they go in the crease area just above where your mobile lid stops and the little roof of your eye hangs over there. This is a great brush to get in because it pushes because it's longer, it goes into that crease area, plus it smears some of the shadow up onto the roof of your eye. So it's a great thing for the crease. Just gonna match it over here on the other side. You could also put your regular lid shadow on with this as well, but I like it for the crease, and it's shaped like this especially to work well with your crease area. Now this flat top is often used for eyelining, and what I like to do with an eyeliner is I like to take a little bit of eye drops and I put it right on the eyeliner itself. And eye drops are safe for use around your eyes, and they're wet, so it's better than using water, I believe. And you can just go into whatever shade you want to line your eyes with, and you can just trace along your lash line. It makes a very nice eyeliner. It's controllable, it's flat, and you can go under as well if you so want to. So that's the flat top liner brush. Now the other type of eyeliner brush is this thin one with a slight bend to it, and that is really nice to work with potted eyeliners such as this one. So you would just put it in there, and because there's a bend to it, you can just easily get in there to make a nice line. And this makes a very precise thin line. This is especially nice for using after you've put false lashes on. It gets between the lash and your eyelid to cover over any skin that may be showing. So that is the eyeliner brush. Now this is a double-ended brush, and what it's for is kind of, you can use it in two ways. This end is called the spoolie. You can use it to pull through your eyelashes when the mascara is clumped, or you can use this to brush up your brows. And this other kind of slanted hard end, and it's usually hard, will work with one of these brow pomade kind of creams, which, you know, you can just, because of its shape, you can just make little grass-like shapes, or you can just fill in your brows where they seem to be sparse. And it gives you a lot of control. A lot of people use a double-ended brush like this. And the last brush that I'm going to talk about is this kind of oval-shaped flat one. There's two ways that you can use this. It's basically a lip brush, and you put it on your lipstick like this, and then you can paint it into your lips, and it makes it settle into your lips much nicer. It makes for a more long-lasting lipstick than you would have if you just smeared the lipstick tube over your mouth. It actually buffs in the lip product into your lips. And I find that this kind of a size for a brush also works really well with concealer. You can actually put a little concealer on your hand, and you can just dabble over, you know, some of the blemishes you may have or age spots that you want to cover. And it does a great job at spot touching because it's so small. You only spot touch the areas that you feel need a little extra coverage. So it really helps in controlling how much concealer goes on your face. And it's also a lip brush. So that's the brushes, and now that I've shown you what they are, let me show you how I clean my brushes and the best way to do it. Here I am, and I am doing the brushes. I like to use this. This is the Deep Moisture Body Wash. I know it's crazy. And what I do is I fill a bowl with hot water. And then I add probably about a tablespoon of this. Now this doesn't mix into the water. I'm tucking the brushes into it. So I'll put this right here in the view. There we go. And this is the Real Techniques cleansing palette. So what we're going to do is just run a little bit of water in the background here. And I like to wet the brush a little bit. Dip it in there. And then I rub it in on there and rinse it off. Until the water runs clear. Shake it out. And I spray the handle with alcohol, because you're using the handles too. And then I set it down there to dry. Now the next one, just going to get a little wet, dip it in here. And sometimes it takes a little more scrubbing to get it out. Depending on how often you wash your brushes, they will be stained, so it may take a little extra, maybe a second time. But this works really well at getting inside and getting all the makeup out of your brush. And you can see that's done a pretty good job. Again, the alcohol on the handle, stick it down and dry. Here is that contour brush, dipping it in there. And I turn the brush around while I'm scrubbing as well, so I can get in all the nooks and crannies. And I use my fingers a little bit just to make sure it gets rinsed clean. You don't want any soap left in the brush. Again, alcohol, and let it dry. This is the blush brush in here. Now this is actually kind of fun, and it's kind of relaxing to do. So I do my brushes almost every day. They're clean and they're in good shape. And I know that I'm not going to get any bacteria. Especially if you have a cold and you've used your makeup, make sure you wash your brushes immediately after you use them. And you don't want to use anything too hot, because the brush where it's attached here could actually come loose, because I think they're glued in. start doing the eyeshadow brushes, you can actually probably do 2 at a time. And this gets them nice and clean, and they're moisturized as well, so the hair in the brush will stay nice and soft. I don't find that that happens when I use a dishwashing detergent such as like Dawn, or even a hand soap. And if you're wondering, yes, I do. I have the Beauty Blender Cleanser, and I use that for really stained products. And this is one of the ones that's usually kind of tough, is the lipstick stuff. I have a hard time getting it off. So what I'm going to do is just tap that into the Beauty Blender Cleanser, and that usually takes the lipstick stuff off. That's a tough one. It always has been. But you want to make sure you get everything off of there so you don't grow bacteria on your brushes. Going into that flat top, just make sure, and you see it's nice and white on the top, it's clean, sanitized. There's that eyeliner brush, same thing. And you can feel that they are clean, you can feel it. Now, how many of you wash your brow brushes? Come on, fess up. Especially this side. How many of you do this? You really should. And I turn it around on the big spokes here so that it gets inside there. And on this end, of course, down in the little ones. Anything that touches your eye needs to be cleaned. You can't just keep using it until it falls apart. How many of you clean this? This is your eyelash curler. Look at that. That stuff's all there. You're putting that right next to your eyeball. Hello. Sticking that right in there. And I'm using a scrubby sponge on this one. You definitely want to make sure this is clean, because it's going right up next to your eyes. May even touch your eyeball, so you want to make sure that you clean those at least once a week. And I bet some of you have never cleaned yours. Makes a huge difference in your health when you've got clean instruments, especially those things that go right up near your eye. So get all of the eye mascara out of it. Okay, so that's it. I just rinse this out, and I'll run this bowl through the dishwasher. And right here you can see here are the brushes. So I hope that's been helpful for you, and I hope everybody's having a great week. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.